As we're coming in now to gate number 50, the gate of values, we are literally at the crossroads here between the ending of Libra season and the beginning of Scorpio season. So we are entering in a kind of bridge as we are exploring the concept of values, really looking at the shadow energy of corruption, how we tend to resign and go with the mainstream instead of maybe holding on for ourselves, the truth of the values that really resonate. We're learning to come into equilibrium, which is the gift in here. And that's a beautiful relationship between the seventh house of partnerships and commitments with you and your higher self, and the eighth house of transformation, which is all about the death, the intimacy, learning to become your own alchemist. The highest light aspect that we're reaching for in this teaching is known as the Sooty of Harmony. So let us dive in and explore. And in the teachings of the I Ching, gate number 50, values, is also known as the simmering cauldron. So your body is made mostly of water. And when you're allowing yourself to do the alchemy within you, you are transforming your cellular structure and learning to release and let go those things that are not of your highest good. That is the process of purification. So a lot of times in my own journey, I like to call on the violet flame of Saint Germain, which is known for its ability to surround yourself in that purple fire. Purple meaning the higher self, the higher wisdom, and letting it move through your auric field to release that which is no longer serving you. So in the teachings of the I Ching, gate 50 values teaches us that spiritual and earthly powers are joined by taking responsibility to hold and promote the values of merit that are traditional or novel, but which are relevant to the essential needs of any instant. And that is the key word there, is essential needs. We have a lot of traditions, we have a lot of practices, we have a lot of belief systems, we have a lot of values that have been passed down generation after generation, through cultures, through religions, but it's really up to the individual, the self, to know what is essential or not. What should be preserved for the highest good, and what is ready to release because it is no longer serving the needs of the people, of the environment, of that higher purpose in life. We're also entering into what is known as the Ring of Illuminati. So as we end out Libra and we start the journey into Scorpio, Scorpio season is going to bring us both of the gates, also known as the gene keys when we go deeper into the teachings, that together form what is known as the Ring of Illuminati. We're also going to be going through another set of rings within Scorpio season as well. And whenever you get to the rings, it is showing you a relationship that is deep within your cellular nature, and it opens up a whole new brand of teaching. So I would highly encourage you, if you are interested in learning more about the rings, go to thegenekeys.com. There is some resources there on the codon rings that you can explore for yourself. But we are going to share the teachings of the Ring of Illuminati. The general description is laid out by Richard Rudd, the founder of the Gene Keys. And it teaches us that the Ring of Illuminati is uniquely coded with the harmonic geometries of higher evolution. As this codon awakens through the human genome, the higher subtle bodies of humankind will self-organize into potent and coherent formations of awakened beings. This higher social harmony will progressively reveal itself as human beings move beyond the domain of shadow consciousness and realize the harmonic blueprint that underlies all human civilization. Humanity has always sensed the presence of the Illuminati or the chosen ones. We have woven them into our legends, dreams, and even our conspiracy theories. Commonly misunderstood, the Illuminati refers to a higher evolution of celestial beings or ascended masters who are not separate from us, but are our higher nature personified. We now live in the time of the gathering of the Illuminati, a time of unprecedented planetary change where its fields of harmony draw us in and gradually transform our cellular DNA into its highest mode of functioning. So as you can see, this is definitely another deeper body of teaching. And maybe to put it very simply, we have access to higher sources, higher purifications, the angelic realms, the ascended masters, and we are not separate from those energies. We are a part of that higher self. It is only our belief that we are separate then due to our shadows, our conditionings, our fears that keep us from fully realizing our higher state of being. So as we're moving deeper into Scorpio season, ending out Libra season, this is about the death, the transformation, and very intimately coming into a relationship with the higher aspects of yourself. So when we look at your human design chart, and I really encourage you to grab your chart and take a look to see if you have gate number 50 circled within your design. And 53% of you are going to have that splenic center colored in, meaning it's defined. Whenever you have a colored in center, you have very specific energy properties related to that center. So in this case, you have consistent energy that governs your health, your well-being, and how you also kind of emit this feel-good frequency for other people around you. So a lot of people might feel like you're kind of like that big teddy bear energy where it just feels really good to be in your presence. For the 47% who are undefined, meaning it's white in your chart, you're actually able to feel the health and well-being in others. And you're also feeling the fears within others. Now, fears are there to help alert us when something is detrimental to our survival or survival of those around us. And when we really treat it with respect and we adhere to a little bit of the fear in order to trigger our deep intuition, to have faith in tuning into the guides to guide the way forward, then it is a very beautiful, intuitive way of living in partnership with your higher self. When you're not aware that you're picking up and amplifying the fears of others and you're picking up and feeling the health and well-being of others, that can create an opportunity for being very possessive. Not letting go of people, not letting go of situations, not changing, even though you know what you're doing is hurting you. And the reason for that is there's this underlying essence that it's not safe. So we really want to examine how to build a greater faith within yourself so that you are aware of what energy is yours, what energy belongs to somebody else, how to really tap into your own intuition so that you're opening up the channel to your guides, your higher self, your angels, those ascended masters. We all have guardians, we all have a council. So we're well supported on our journey, but we have free will and have to ask for help. So learning about your human design is hugely beneficial to really getting to know you and understanding these energetic properties to a higher degree. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about gate number 50. So if you have it circled in your chart, you're going to recognize these properties. Or if you're joining us as part of the turning of the mandala wheel and gate 50 is opening in the collective at this time, we're all getting to experience these properties. So it's beautiful to know that you have your unique design, I have my unique design, but throughout the year, we will experience the entire human design body graph. You will go through each and every one of the numbers known as gates. You have the opportunity to open it up deeper with the gene key and to learn about the inner alchemy for yourself. So yes, we are a unique individual, but we are part of the whole. And the reason we're sharing that information before jumping deeper into the specific teachings of Gate 50 is you're going to see that, and we open it up to the gene keys, that we're really going to be bringing in the concept of the macro and the micro, meaning the bigger picture greatly affects the individual. So you are affected by the world around you. The world around you is affected by you. So that is an important teaching as we're moving through the gate of values. Now, as an awareness center, your splenic is highly intuitive. It is fast. It is an automatic response. So in this gate, there's this awareness to be responsible for the preservation of others or not. So to fight for something that is worth saving or letting it go. To jump into action or step back out of it. There's also a fear in here of taking on responsibility, or there's a tendency to take on too much responsibility because of the fear. So as it's known as that simmering cauldron, this is where you are really bringing into the body of you. And you are using your intuitive awareness, the cells within your body, the sensations, the sights, the smells, the sounds, however that's coming up for you. It is an inner knowing where you just know what is worth holding on to, what is worth preserving in terms of values that are going to support the family, the workplace, the community, yourself. And then also becoming very aware that, a lot of values are handed down. A lot of belief systems are handed down. A lot of traditions are handed down. And when you're really considering those for yourself, do they feel right to you? You might have been raised with a certain value system. You might have been raised with a narrative that women do this and men do that, that there's certain levels within your social standing, what you can do, what you cannot do, who you can hang around, who you can't hang around, what you believe in, what you should not believe in. And it is up to yourself as an individual to really let that simmer through the cauldron of yourself and to question whether or not that feels right. Now, as a child, you probably didn't have a lot of opportunity to question or to fight back or to choose for yourself. But as the adult, you now have that opportunity. And as we've been going through the splenic center in human design, especially all through Libra season, where we did a really deep dive, you learned a lot about the different stages of the child, the physical body that is between the ages of 0 and 7, the emotional aura that is formed between 7 and 14, the mental field that is between 14 and 21. And then even going in deeper when we went through the gate of 57, the gate of the gentle, into the womb, into the fetus, and the three stages of that development, to become very aware that even as a developing fetus, you were feeling the fears of your mother. You were learning to respond based on how your mother was experiencing fears, how she was experiencing emotions, and how she interpreted those for herself. So we've always been in this field of learning and growing based on what your senses, your very first one being your intuition, has been learning from the environment around it. So values are no different. Values are adopting someone else's preferences, beliefs, fears, stories, opinions. They're all of those things that are kind of snowballed together. And now you have an opportunity to kind of let that all melt into the alchemy of you, to separate the sand from the purity of water, and to really look at what it is that you have accumulated. What have you been picking up over time? And does it feel really mucky and murky and kind of weighed down in that? Is there an opportunity for you to maybe give yourself a clean slate and say, I'm going to go on a journey to really discover for myself what my core values really are? And let that feel through your body. Let your body wisdom bring that to the forefront. It's not the mind trying to figure it out. What is of your highest good, what is of your deepest truth, is already within the cells of your nature. The pure light of your soul that is within. So attuning to that, taking the time for yourself to make your own decisions, to not jump in too quickly, but really discern, is this of my highest truth? Is this the path that I want to venture down? Is this the legacy that I want to leave for my children and future generations? Is this the footsteps that I want other people to follow? So you're really attuning in this energy what is appropriate and what is not, what is fair and what is unjust. And again, only you can walk that journey. Only you are walking in your footprints. Only you are living in your head, your stories, your emotions, your life experiences. It is a sacred journey to be the simmering cauldron and to really do the alchemy that is required in order to sift through all the different layers of yourself. They also use the analogy in here of, spirituality is like peeling an onion. And there's many layers to the onion, and guaranteed as you're peeling away, you're going to be shedding some tears. It's not always going to be pleasant. And that is what happens when you are courageous enough to look at things through the eyes of honesty and integrity, but also to empower yourself to know that you have the free will choice to choose. And that means that when you are choosing the path of love, you are allowing love permission now to flow through you. So you're never alone in your journey. You're never alone in having to go through all these different layers of conditioning. And you're not here to relive your experiences. You're here to remember the wisdom and to embody that as you go forward. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools that we can call on to set ourselves free. And again, through Libra season, if you were journeying with us through those teachings, the diplomat, seeing both sides, it was really an opportunity to come into that greater understanding that it's not to blame, it's not to guilt, it's not to shame, that we're not separate from each other. We're all learning and growing, and that means we're going to fall down, we're going to scrape a knee, we're going to make mistakes, we're going to do things that, looking back, we probably wished we wouldn't have done, but we did. So grace comes in and says, stand up, keep trying, choose a new way. So values really brings that to the forefront. It allows us the opportunity to really assess, well, what's working? What's working within your own life? What's working out within humanity? And recognizing, what are you ultimately responsible for? And what are you trying to claim responsibility for that is not yours? So learning how to set yourself free also sets another person free. And it sets another person free because if you're doing something that another can do for themselves and they should do from themselves, you're actually disempowering them. So love comes in and love says, why are you doing that? Why are you feeling responsible for making someone else's bed when they can do it? For packing someone else's lunch that can do it for themselves? Why are you responsible for reminding someone else what they need to do? So we look at all these behavioral patterns that we have just kind of started to collect over the years by mimicking, by watching, by adopting viewpoints and different belief systems of what roles you should have or shouldn't have, and really kind of looking at your life and maybe how much is behind the closet of your heart, right? How much you've kind of shoved in there, feeling that sensation of that pressure, maybe even feeling overwhelmed that there's just too much. So this gives you the opportunity now in this energy to stand up for what is right, to stand up for what is appropriate. And most importantly, it's about leading by example. It is walking the talk, being the living demonstration of what it means to do your own work and then become a beacon of light for others in the encouragement of knowing that they can do it too. If you can walk through your own fires, if you can walk through your own fears, if you can learn to take responsibility, if you can lovingly hand things back that are not yours, so too can another. And that is what the great teachers have been passing down for eons. They don't come back to get you. They keep walking forward, reminding you to move one step at a time and come to their light. They don't come down to you. You got to rise up to them. So this also brings us into the possibility to form the channel of preservation. So again, it's looking at your human design chart to see if you have this particular channel. And if you do, this energy is consistently flowing through your human design body graph, your blueprint for this life. It is a splenic sacral connection, and it's moving through the gate of values into what is known as the gate of the nurturer. So there's energy flowing through these centers, through these channels. The sacral is your life force energy. It's the energy to support the family, the workplace, the community, the self. It is the gut response that says, yes, that is correct for me. that moves you into action. So it is the energy of a natural caregiver and caretaker. And it is somebody who's actually born with this deep sense of duty to protect and serve. So the splenic is instinctual. In this case, there's an instinctual nature to nurture others, to care for others, to protect others. And it does that through the splenic senses. So it smells, it tastes, it hears, it just knows. Maybe the hairs on the arm are kind of standing up when something doesn't feel right. There is a knowing that somebody is missing the basic necessities of life: food, clothing, shelter, safety, love. You will know it. So there's this instinctual nature for us to band together, to support one another, to help one another, to protect one another, to serve one another. This is natural for us. A lot of times you see individuals who actually work in the service energy, in the service realm, when they have this energetic connection. So these can be members in the fire departments, ambulance, RCMP, nurses, doctors, caretakers, teachers, right? Anything that really promotes being a humanitarian, being a caretaker, and being a mother hen. And we really want to kind of look at some of those archetypes, because there are certain definition, again, certain values that we attach to what we believe a humanitarian should be, what we believe the mother hen should be, what we believe a caretaker should be. And the narrative we most often buy into is that you give to others at the sacrifice of yourself. Now, if we were to lean back on our teachings of Libra, the diplomat, equality, scales, balance, how does it serve the highest good if you are giving everything and taking nothing? How does you depleting your own health and well-being serve the greatest good? How does that feel in the cauldron of yourself, in the value system that is often unconscious, that says you are less than, that other people's needs come first, that that is your responsibility? How does that feel? And I can feel the energy moving through me. There's some very strong guidance here, bringing it up into the common sense, because we've been fed this narrative for so long, and it's fed through commercials, through TVs, through programming, through our caregivers, from the generations, from the divides between masculine and feminine, what that means. Culture, society, religion. And it's really a time now to bring things into balance, to recognize that you can't take good care of others if you're not taking good care of yourself. You can't give from an empty cup. So we're learning to reshape the way that we've been operating in the world by first filling up yourself, and then asking the guides to flow through you so that you can be of service to others. So I remember way back in some of my early teachings, I was given the concept of the 2-to-1 ratio. So the 2-to-1 ratio was you have to fill up, that's 1. Then you're allowing the guides to fill up, which fills up your auric field. And that is what is felt by others first. And that is what is shared out into the rest of the world. So it is so important to really look at the roles you play what you're trying to hold on to, you're trying to preserve because of a narrative of a story that, well, I'm here to help everybody, I'm saving everybody, I look after everybody, I'm just like their mother and I take them all in. I'm the caretaker. What else are you? Those are identities that the ego likes to attach to. If you could no longer be that, then what? And are you part of that equation that you're claiming to be for everybody else? So, this is really teaching us the balance of giving and receiving. That is one of the universal laws. As you give, so too shall you receive. If you are giving yourself to the point of exhaustion, you're going to receive more opportunities to be exhausted. If you're giving of yourself and it's not being respected and appreciated, you're going to receive more opportunities to not be appreciated and respected. The macro is always going to mirror the micro. When you start to have deep respect for yourself, you know your core values, you don't compromise on your core values. That is what you offer to the world. That is what you then offer up to the macro to help change the energy at a global level. So you are one individual, yes, but you are also part of the greater whole.